So what's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Subscriber died trying. You see the thumbnail. You know, um, you're gonna have to go through your karma to get to your breakthrough. And some people may not understand this just by the title, so let me break it down. Karma, what goes around comes around. What you do, what you put out into the world, you'll get back. And that could be a positive or a negative thing. But in this scenario, I'm talking about it, you know, probably both ways, but I'm using the negative as the example. Where I was watching a story with Jordan Peterson, and he was like, nobody ever gets away with anything. And he said, as a clinical psychologist, he talked about how a person might be at a certain space in life. And when they're at that certain space in life, they're trying to figure out what happened. And then when you backtrack, you know, maybe even go back a few years, it started from them doing something that they probably felt like they got over, and now they have to deal with the consequences, and now that they're dealing with the consequences, then it becomes, what happened, thus the anxiety, the grief, bargaining, all these things, because it's like, I'm a good person, why is all this stuff happening to me, I haven't done anything to anybody per se, type of speech mindset. But they forgot about what they did do to somebody. And this is where it gets interesting for me. A lot of times, people, I talk to people and I'll be like, listen, you got to go through this, because if you're looking for a breakthrough in life, it's on the other side of the karma. So you might be catching hell right now. But if you stop right there, or if you give up right there and you never push through, you never get to the other side. And if you never get to the other side, you never get to where you want to be or want it to be. Because if you want it that bad, you're going to have to ride through the tidal wave of consequences. And a lot of us are not willing to do that. I kind of look at it like, if you ever, when you were a kid and you was a student, I think I said this before, I'm not too sure, where in the beginning of the school year, everybody is kind of, happy-go-lucky, happy to be at school. But near the end of the school year, everybody's, anxious and uptight. Is because they know the end is near. And they want it to be over. And because they want it to be over, because they wanted to be over, they mess around and they're on their toes. Not toes. They're just very short with people. And what winds up happening is they're short with people because, they know that when the last day is. But then when the last day happens, everybody's relieved because the teachers are like that also. And then you go into this summertime, I'm free process where you start missing school all over again. And you break through to the next year. So for me, it's the same process, except the consequences may be huge, And a lot of us don't want to deal with the idea that maybe, just maybe, we're our own worst enemy. And the reason why we can't see that enemy is because it's in the mirror. And I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that a little later. But I find it interesting because at the end of the day, I think a lot of us are where we're at, not necessarily because, you had a plan A and it failed, or you had a plan A and a plan B, and because you had a plan B, you didn't really commit to your plan A. A lot of us fail because we don't break through, because we sit in our karma and don't move forward because we become a victim. And then you look at people who have a breakthrough in life, and you're like, well, what did they do differently than I did? Well, they went through the whole thing. So until you're willing to go through the whole thing, you're not going to get that breakthrough. So I'm done on this one. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.